And let's see what the standard says about text. There is not much to say about text. It's pretty straightforward. Basic idea is all caps, 1/8 of an inch high. You may see some people make drawings with lowercase letters, but that is not correct. We are not supposed to do that. We are supposed to make all of our letters all capital letters, no matter what. And the standard is not quite as specific about text height as they are over in the mechanical world. 1/8 of an inch high is the usual practice. Most drawings in architecture use 1/8 inch high text. That is, when the drawing is printed, it's 1/8 of an inch high. The standard does say if you've got a gigantic drawing with a lot of notes and writing crammed into it, it is acceptable to use 3/32, which is just a 30-second smaller. That's the minimum. You're not allowed to go any smaller than that. But really, if you keep it at 1/8 of an inch high, you'll be good. Then we are supposed to use a style that kind of echoes that handwritten architectural style that architects used to learn in school. Here, this is a page out of our book, but it's similar to the style that we used to learn in school. In AutoCAD, the style, the typeface that does that the best is called Stylus. Here it is right here. And in the CAD title block that I've created for you for our class, I have used the Stylus font for all of our text. You will see a couple of other fonts, or I should say typefaces, that you probably should avoid, but I'll tell you about them. One of them is Papyrus. Now, and that is available in AutoCAD. Some people like that because, as you can see there, it's kind of arty looking and it looks kind of like architectural lettering. It has some problems though. It's just a little bit too arty, and some of the proportions are kind of weird, so fitting Papyrus into a line of text can turn into more problem than you wanted. And then Comic Sans is lovely for writing notes to people, but we don't use that in architectural drawings. So, long story short, use Stylus. And all caps, 1/8 of an inch high. Where's my thing? Here is a summary. There is one exception to all caps, and that is when you are writing a nail size, you know, like a 10-penny nail. Lowercase d stands for penny. I'm going to try not to go off on a tangent about why that's so, but it has to do with Romans in England long ago. Anyway, if you're writing 10-penny nail, you are allowed to write the letter D lowercase. In architectural drawings, you hear people say, the text reads from the bottom or from the right. And the first time I heard that, I thought, what are you talking about? But here's what they're talking about. They mean when you're trying to figure out what direction to rotate the text, if you have text going all over the place, try to keep it horizontal so that it's right side up. And if you were holding the page and standing at the bottom of the page and looking up, you'd be able to read the text. Or if it's close to vertical text, if you stood at the right side of the page and looked towards the text, it would be right side up and you'd be able to read it. Now, a lot of text is not horizontal or vertical, and then you have some decisions to make. This diagram illustrates that. In structural drawings, it's common to place the size of the material, like maybe this might be structural steel of some sort. It's common to place the size parallel with the piece of steel. So then you want to think about, okay, if you do that, what is closest to read from the bottom and read from the right? And then another thing you see in structural steel and other kinds of structural drawings is when they call out a column, they'll put the call out at a 45-degree angle. So that's weird. So that's what this diagram is demonstrating, those 45-degree call outs. And then again, if you have a big drawing with lots of different kinds of stuff, hundreds of layers and many, many pages, you might want to subdivide your A-ano layers a little bit further. And so here from our book is the list of what you can use, and here I've rewritten it down here at the bottom of the slide. These are the minor group codes that you can use with your A-ano layer if you would like to subdivide a little bit further. To recap, let me just go back a couple of slides. When we make text, it's all capitals, it's 1/8 of an inch high, and the typeface is Stylus. The end.